All right, all right, all right. Are we live? I think we're live. Should be live. What is wrong with this thing? Interesting. Very interesting here. Let's see. Let's try that real quick. All right. Yep. Nope. That's great. Okay. Wonderful. Yes. Good. All is well. Okay. Well, I don't see anything there. So it'll just have to do. How about that? All right. Here we are. It's a beautiful day. Kinda. Monday, June 10th, 2019. And for the first time, I would say in a long time, it has been the opposite of a Bloody Monday. I know, it almost seems strange. Things are green all over. Alts had a good day. Bitcoin's having a good day. Hope you're having a good day. Let's get into it. So right now we have on here the Bitcoin 1 hour chart. Right, we've been looking at this big giant candle right here and sort of how it behaved earlier, and trying to figure out, why it did what it did, and try to make some sense out of it so that we can all, learn. Right? That's the path. So since the drop, right? Let me throw this on a 4 hour. Since the drop off a 9, which is up here, right? We had a series of big drops and then a bear flag, like a rebuild, right? Sideways action, lower high, and then a drop. Bear flag, right? No consolidation this time, just straight to another drop. So the bear flag actually worked this time, and it pushed it down. We had a little mini bear flag over here as well. All right, so that came down, and then we came back up. We had a little area of consolidation right here. Nothing too crazy, but we hung out in 78 for a little while. Dropped back down again, but we made a higher low this time. Okay. Now that's after this significant drop, but we bought it right back, so I didn't really mention this one. All right, then we pulled back up, all the way back up to what was our swing fail, coming up to 9, right? This was our original, high. This one's set up on bodies and not on wicks, right? So pushed out, that ended up becoming resistance as well as our 80-20 level, which is historical. So pushing back from historical, right, we got a little bit of a little dancing action going on here. Nothing too much happening, and then another big push down, right? Yesterday, everybody got very upset, and then Bitcoin kind of ruined a lot of trades. Then, almost a double bottom. Didn't quite make it back to 74.67, although it did come close. It ended up hitting a low of 75.08. And then since has pushed up a little bit. Now found a little bit of resistance right here on the 7. This is on the 4 hour chart. On the 7 EMA. And then smashed right through it. But what it do, it smacked its head right on previous resistance, right? So again, resistance. And now we're sort of sideways dancing over it. We're trying to do the little push above, close, come back for a retest. And, the next move should be to the north side. We'll again, like everything, we will have to wait and see. But not a bad play. Now, if it can flip properly and maintain support, that's the real question. That's the real one. Okay, so, yes, Felix, what's up? Hello. So all that being said, it's not a bad move, right? It's not a bad move. If we're going to go down more, right, the opportunity would be now, fail on flipping this to support, right, maintain resistance and push it back down further. So then, by the time it got down here, if you followed this trend, right, you'd be hovering somewhere around, let's say, 73 and change. So if that does, we'll have to take a closer look. Now, this trend isn't much of a trend, but it's what we got right now. You know what I'm saying? So we can adjust this, or at least add probably a new line somewhere in the ballpark of this dip down here. So if we took extremes, right, and we took that dip and we took that dip, well, then you would be looking more likely to come back down to that CME gap down here. I think top side was 72. So 72 is like right in this ballpark. And then, major support or comeback level, right, in this green box over here. If we could flip this properly, now we're button up. We got confluence with resistance, right? So we got resistance on our downward trend. We got resistance at 80-20 from historical, right? And you just got overall, trend is, down, right? We have to work our way back up, right? So you got this level in here, you got this level right here, you got this level right here, and then you got that level. You know what I mean? It's just a series of challenges to get back up there. But all that being said, if we can properly flip this and convincingly, right, then I think we're in good shape at least to come back up and start retesting these levels over here. You're a little one-stop shop around like 82.03. Swing it by 83.38 for a little while. Hang out there for a minute. And then get yourself into the 87s. 87s up to 89. 89 retest 9. So it's a series of events, but one candle like this, and next thing you know, you're at 9 before you even know it, right? So we've seen those candles before. I'm not saying that this is gearing up to do that, but in the unlikely event that it did do it, at least the stops along the way, you should find some resistance. We may not. We may find no resistance. So that is also possible, right? All things are on the table here. Volume for the last few hours, right, a little bit lower, right? The last 8 hours are fairly low, relatively speaking, compared to the previous 8 hours, which were well above average. Not any type of ridiculous volume like over here. I mean, this volume was, nutso. But we'll take an increase in volume, we'll take an increase in interest, and we'll take an increase in price, right? So as long as all those make sense, then we're good. Now, you don't want this, right? You don't want the double top and drop, right? Because that's not healthy for anybody. So what we've seen on a lot of alts is when they're coming back, right? They swing, fail, and then they either make a lower low, but it's lower than the previous low, but it's still higher than the low before that. And then when they come back up, right, they only really make it to the body, sometimes the wick, right, and then they sort of stand still for a little bit and then drop again. So we've seen that on like One and Seller and FET and like all those coins that were moving pretty well and had a really good day today. We've seen that same type of failure to make a high in that trend. So therefore you can't turn it into a trend yet. If you wanted to, you can use this, but if you wanted to say this was your low, this was your high, this was your higher low, and next up would be your higher high, then you at least have a trend. Right now, you have a low and a high and a higher low and a higher high, right, and a higher low, and you could make this your higher high. So it's a trend, but this boxed out area is pretty ugly. If you just skip this nonsense, it didn't make a lower low, so it's okay to skip. So just for sake of architecture, right, for sake of price action, this would seem a lot better if you ignore this crap right here and you just simply straight shot up, right? One impulse up, down, up. Now we'll have a trend, and now we got something to work off of. Now, on the 4-hour chart, we are crossed, right? We did just cross on the candle prior. We were able to cross the 7 over the 20, which is awesome. But, you can see we did it right here. It happens fairly often, even in downtrends, right? So, it happened right here, and we got a couple bucks out of it, right? You got the cross at 7,800, and it ripped it all the way to 81, right? So not bad at all. But, you didn't, at the end of the day, right, it didn't stop this thing from dropping back down and coming back to the 75 zone. So, it's something to look at. Let's go about the actual daily. We got, we're closing it down in 5 minutes. So let's see what's shaking over here. All right. Currently looking pretty good. If all things stay. Rejection didn't quite get to the 20 on the daily. Didn't quite get there. 20 right now sitting at 81.76. We're sitting at 8,000. So, by not quite, it's $176 away. It's not like chump change. You know what I'm saying? It's still a good distance. So, expect if we close to hit that first, right? We're bringing in the volatility, bring in the buyers, everybody can sort of reset and then push it, right? Find resistance, pull it back a little, find support on the 7, and then ideally, right, you're pushing up from there. That's ideal. We'll have to see. This bottom level is pretty interesting. 76.36 up to 79, basically 79.36. So this $300 range right here is really interesting. And even on the low side, 1, 2, 3, 4, we could do 5 touches on the daily, and you're talking at 75, 71. That's a very interesting level. A lot of buying happened under here, right? A lot of buying, a lot of interest in buying at 7,500. So it's something to certainly, keep your mind on. Other big moves in the day, right? Litecoin made some big moves to painted out a pattern, ended up failing the pattern, coming back and smashing it. So that was interesting. Zill was making some moves earlier and then kind of slowed down a little bit. Fed went on a tear, which was nice. Matic and Seller and then the other BNB style coins, right? They moved pretty well. We'll throw up the let's throw this up, and we'll take a look at the scanner, and we'll get an idea on what kind of moves were shaking during the course of the day, because there were some pretty significant ones. All right, so never mind the first one over here. I think they're working on something in the database. All right, so let's get that one out of here. So Myth, BTC and USDT pairings, right, pushed 67%. Currently pulled back 36 and 44 respectively, tethered to BTC, showing a strong trend on the 30 and the hour. Sideways, slightly up for the 5 and 15, which is good, right? Which just means these were probably all dark green, right? And the pullback right here, right, is causing these to turn light green, and if not pink, like you'll see over here on NAS. That's usually indication of a possible entry, right? So if you're looking for entries on something like Myth, this would be a fairly good setup, just these first 4 with this, big move up, big pullback. Now you just want to open the chart and just make sure it's not like a fat finger or a big giant wick that kind of like threw everything off balance, you know what I'm saying? But some coins were making moves, like Knowles yesterday made killer moves, and it just kept making moves today, right? Today it painted another 20%, so it was on top of, I think, the 50-something it did yesterday. So pretty good, all things considered. NAS, big moves, 50-50. GXS, FET, right? FET up 30, pulled back 20. Again, strong trend, right, in the 1, 4, and 6. So that's good. You know, it's ripe for entry, that type of deal. Let's see, XZC. I'm not familiar with this coin, but they are pushing, right? They're pushing good, 28%, down 24, right? Didn't even get to the 382 yet on a pullback. So if you notice like a real strong trend, they're not always going to pull all the way back to the 618. That's more of like a bigger pullback. If you're within trend and you're on a shorter time frame, you can allow for, you know, like a dip to the 236, 382, find some support, push it back up, get some more volume, make the next level, right? So, you know, you hit your 1, you hit your 1618. If it's like real tight knit, right, then you roll in with like a 127, a 1414, and then a 1618 for target profits. But you know, you leave a little in between, which is okay if you're already out 50% of your allocated trade by the time you get to the 1618. You know, you missed out from, let's say, the 127 to 1618 with the full wad of the trade. But profits, man, are key. So you pull them out when you feel the target is hit, and if it has room for continuation, right, then you know you hop on board. That's great. All right, so we just closed this candle out. Let's get the numbers down here. 76.35. That was the open. We had a high of 80.97. We hit a low of 75.16. We closed it out at 80.15. So real good close right there. Solid close. Above the 7, below the 20 on the daily chart. All right. Plus $381. So plus 4.99. We'll call it 5%. So buying is coming in right away. This is kind of expected, right? I would like to see rejection at the 20. I would at least like to see an attempt, better so than our close. And then even if it does come down, you know, it's fine. But we do want to find support, right? So if we're going to ping pong at all, let's ping pong between 81.97 and 79.66. But you don't want to fail your 7 after just crossing it, right? That's never a good sign. You want to get a little bit out of it. That's really the idea. So, you know, here we are. It's a much shorter pullback, you know, of course, than what we're looking at right here. But all things considered, right? You got the cross down, and then you got the cross right away up, and just see how it just rides it, right? It just rides it. As soon as it gets away from it, it comes right back to it. You know, and of course, price is higher, but you know, it wants to be on there, right? This guy got away from it. What happened? Neck candle, you came right to it. These 3 got away from it. Well, let's say this, right? This guy and this guy got away from it. These 2 guys brought it back. All right. So we look for that style, that type of price action when we're dealing with swing fails and uptrends that don't look like they're going to continue, exhaustion in trend, that type of thing where, you know, if we start painting something like this, it's probably not going to do the up, and, you know, and just keep on going. You know, you're going to get these little mid breaks in here. And even though the trend continued, right, this was a swing fail, came back down again, trend continued up and made a higher high, but you put a W right in between the highs there, right? The 2 peaks, right? Now you gave yourself like just too much room in between that, where you had this and this, right? That could have been here. You know, came down, rolled it up. You know, you come down, you roll it up, and then you got your high and your high. You come back and you retest your structure highs. All right? Cool. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Okay, so might as well pull up that myth chart, right? I mean, it was top of the list over here, so let's take a look at it. Myth USDT. And why don't we see what we see? So Myth USDT, go that on Binance. All right, so it's a big candle, right? There's like no history on some of these coins. It's ridiculous. That is still actually relevant, but let's get rid of that for now because we're gonna have to put this on like a 4 hour just to like get anything to look at here. But so Mithril, just the overall, right? You listed, you dumped, right? You came all the way down. So from listing, you lost. You came down 68%, right, from listing. So, you know, it's brutal. Now, I hate to use the wick on listing, so I am going to go to like a 4 hour, because I actually want to find out, like, where did it actually find trading? You know what I'm saying? This is like a free fall. I'm not using this, but I will use this, all right? So if we can signify that there was trading, right? It wasn't just like a free fall sell off from the, you know, who's ever running the show over there, then we're okay. So this is what I'll take. It's a little unorthodox, but you know, whatever. All right. So I'm taking right here. I'm taking that level. What is that? 73.97. In fact, let me just do this while we're over here, because I'm going to lose that real quick. There we go. All right, so it's kind of like our ceiling overhead, you know, resistance, right, for the most part. Let me squash this back up. Let's go back onto the 24, and let me pull this down and see what we're looking at here. But it's a really good pull, but I want to be able to get the whole 9 here. All right, so, I did not want to do this. You're killing me. All right. I want this. There you go. There. Where's my, oh, jeez. Okay, bear with me. Hold on. Still drinking coffee here, guys. Yeah, I forgot about all that. There we go. Okay, now things are good. Don't you worry. All right. So, now we got this. We're cool. Let me go ahead and throw this on something else. All right. So now level-wise, for Myth, where did we retrace to, right? Where did we actually come back to? And then we topped it out, right, at 709, right, the 709. So right here, this zone right here is a level of interest, for sure. So 709, right, we're going to do that. We'll dump on a gray or a slate so that I know, all right, that's the 709. That's the 709 on the retrace, right? So basically all-time high, even though it doesn't look like it, right, in here, all-time high to all-time low, right, moving forward. Now, once we hit that all-time high, what did we get for the pullback? Where did we find support, right? So that's what I'm looking at over here. So I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to say, all right, this was our high, right, before major reversal, right? We had a reversal here and we had a reversal here. But major reversal, what are we looking at? So 61.84, so I just mark that level down and say, okay, 61.84. All right, so now on our way back up from the drop, where did we find support? 709. You guys paying attention? You guys are really extra quiet, like super quiet. It's kind of creepy. It's cool. It's just a little creepy. All right, so again on the 709. So now at least we have an idea of how this particular asset trades just based off of those two moves, right? It respects the 709. Why? Nobody knows. It just does. All right, it likes that area as support. So, listening carefully. So, why don't we test that theory, right? Let's come down to the bottom, and let's take our first pullback. I know it's small, but let's just take the first pullback right here, right? This little guy. And let's just see what we're looking at here. So, pullback came down, right? So here's your bottom, here's your top, and price reversed. Right, it came right down, pushed through the 709, and it ended up on the 786. So remember 786, right, for your first pullback, right, your first pullback in trend, right? This is what's creating the trend. So now take your next high. Take your next high and now move that to your previous low. And in fact, let me just do like the default. Oh no, where is it? Apply default. So it's a little easier to read, right? So when we came off of this move up, price reversed again. So where did we go this time? Well, now, let's see. That's why we don't like the default. It's probably going to be closer to the 886. So let's put our 886 on because it would make more sense. All right, so just about the 886, right? We'll call that the 886. Okay, so now we got a 786 pullback. Then we got a deeper pullback on a 786. So now we move it to the next high and remove our low to the previous low, right? And now we're going to measure this pullback, right? Where did this stop? This stopped at the 618, right? So we got a 786, then we got an 886, and then we got a 618. So we got 3 different pullbacks, right, to work off of. What does that tell us? It tells us it's not doing any 2, 3, 6, 3, 8, 2 pullbacks, right? The pullbacks are significant, right? 61% drop after making a new high, right? And this is just building a trend. That's all it's doing. It's just building a trend. So I think that's kind of important to know as we're moving back up, right? So since we have very little information on this chart, right, we have to use all the resources we have, right? We only have listing at April 18th. You know what I'm saying? So we need to be able to understand how the people that are holding this particular asset and trading this particular asset, what are they seeing? What do they like? And they like deep pullbacks, right? We know that, right? They like deep pullbacks. So on the overall bigger scale, right? All-time high, bang, drop it down low. This was a 68% drop. Found support for whatever reason at 32.50. From there, pushed up, made ourselves a high after 1, 2, 3 pullbacks. So it was almost like a 3 drives, right? But if you don't count that first one, this probably was similar to a 3 drive. So these aren't 618 pullbacks. Only one of them is. But regardless, right? You made this last high over here, and now you're dropping. But look what happens, right? You drop, you find a little support. Right? You drop, you find a little support. All right, now you smashed, right? So it had enough of the games of coming down and doing nothing. It was like, nah, man, I got things to do. I need to be back up over here. So if we watched the drop, we could see came down, right? This day closed right above the 382. Then the next day spanned, right? Basically spanned the 236 to the 618. 4 levels in a day. All the way up to the 236. Swing fail. All the way back down, blew right through the 382. Said, forget it, 5. I ain't even dealing with you. And I'll come all the way down. Bears are like, we got this, man. We're taking it down to 0. And the bulls stepped in and they bought the 618. All right, that's important to know that they bought the 618. Now, they weren't able to maintain it, right? You pushed up to the 5. You hovered in the 5 for 1, 2, 3 days, right, until you dropped. You dropped through the 618. All the people that bought the 618 earlier, right, they're all used up, right? They used all their capital. They used it here, they used it here, they used it here, all right? They had nothing left. So now it drops. It drops all the way down. Oh, man, where are we going now? Right? And you push and you push and you push through the 709, and you're like, well, I'll check out that 786. So technically speaking, right, this drop to the 786, really close to the 886. But overall, maintaining support on the 709. So with that being said, you got your little sandwich pattern over here, right? Same thing, little sandwich pattern. But instead of dropping this time, you held support on the 709. All right, so 709 gave it support. You closed underneath it, so that could have been a little scary. But then all of a sudden, smash, right? And you get a 39% candle, and this thing just tanks and makes, cranks and makes a new high. All right. Now, true story. Where did the high go? What did it cross? 786. Look at that. All right, now not perfectly by any stretch, but I mean within, a couple sats. We're talking 65.10, right? And the high on this was 66.41, right? So, if you were playing the levels, right? And if you were, keen on this move, right, smashing through that first move, I still would be watching this thing because I'm not sure what it's going to do next. But breaking through the 7 and the 20 with like a lot of volume, it really depends on how it looked. If all this happened inside of 1 hour, then there's areas of opportunities on like the 5-minute chart where it's going to hesitate and pull back, where you could jump on the train and make the next move. But if you're watching on a daily, all you have is this big giant candle to look at. So all of that being said, right, it was a big buyback, right? Big sell off at the top. All right. But we haven't made a new all-time high. So all things considered, we're still in technically a swing fail. Now I'm going to do 2 of those because like I said, I don't like that listing one. And I tend to not really pay attention to them. So I like to at least have some options over here. All right. All right. So with our swing fail, yes, we both of them. Doesn't even matter, right? We crushed both of them. Now, I'd be interested to see if one of these got us a little bit, if it was a little bit more interesting. Nah, not really. Okay. Had to look. So what we have now, right? Swing fail is go for long, right? So drop, go for long. You'd imagine a pullback to a retest, right? Of one of these. I would think, even though this is the wick one right here, the one off the top of the wick, right? Coming back down and testing that 7 before going back off again is okay. However, you went 40% in a day. You actually went a lot more than that because that's only what the records show, right? Technically, the candle went 67%. So that's one hell of a freaking candle right there. If you took it up even 60%, I mean, that's, depending on what you were trading at the time, I mean, that's game changing. That's fantastic. All right, so coming back and doing a little retest, okay, you might not retest the swing fail line. You might retest your fib level, right, or structure high. So if you were, coming back, right, you already came back here, right? That's like essentially where you closed. So you closed it out, like that was your resistance, right? This right here. So your resistance line ended up being because that was previous structure. So now if you're going to come back and retest just previous structure, that's fine. If you're actually going to pull back, that's your next level of support, right? You're going to come back and test your previous structure 2 times over. All right. That'll give confidence in traders, especially this, if you did it right here, today, right now, right? If you did this, then you have confidence in traders to go long, to put more capital up, to move it even further, because now they're really interested, right? Because now you have confluence on a swing fail downtrend, support, previous structure, support, 236, right, area on the buyback, right? So all of that is good, right? All of that information is really good, right? We'll just do that because it's all good. So getting that buyback gives confidence back into the traders, the ones that stepped out here and here and here and here and realized that the candle went 67%. They're kind of pissed, right? Because even though they might have pulled 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50%, they didn't get 67%, right? So they're probably like, yeah, I left some money on the table. I got to get back in that trade. We'll do another one of those. No big deal. Where are we going to go next? Okay, well, that's a good question. The bigger picture puts us on a 1618, right, of this move right here. So the bigger picture gets us around 77.10, right? Ballpark, which is very close to our 73.97, which is our 4-hour candle all-time high. Not our whatchamacallit over here. Now, that's the larger, right, bigger, zoomed out macro, deal. And because the candle's so big, it is probably legit to think that. We don't really have all too much to go by, right? If we were to do our high, right, of the trend, right, the reversal trend, to our low of the reversal trend, we already hit the 423. So it's like, all right, well, we could put an A23 on here, and see where that lines up. And that would be your next target, right? So A23, you look for confluence, right? A23, 7613. What did we say this one was on a 1618? Coming down, 1618, 7710. You're in the ballpark, right? 77, 76, 73. On the grand scheme of things, right, for an asset that's currently trading at what? 61. That's good, right? You got to leave a little room for front running. If you want to really narrow it down and get all nitty gritty, hop on like the hour. You know what I'm saying? And deal with that. Find levels of interest that make more sense. This wick down here might be like a garbage wick, right? So you might want to come down here and do something like that. This wick might be a garbage wick, so you come down and do something like that. There's different ways to look at it, but for me, I would do something like this, right? Because that's what I do, and this is my target zone. But I look for confluence, right? So this is my target zone if I'm just buying this, right? If I'm just buying this pullback, which typically wouldn't happen in a candle. This one happened in a candle. Now, if we put our 127 on, it'd be interesting to see if that had anything to do with the stop out, which it doesn't look like it did. Our 127's over here, 14's up here, so really didn't have much to do with that. I'm telling you, that's the 786. That's people took profits, and that's where they felt like taking profits, and that was it. At that point, I would imagine people took profits already many times. Probably at the 5, the 382, the 236. Definitely structure for sure. These two zones are profit-taking areas. Like, that is where people are taking profits. This, for sure. Your next would have been like, all right, well, this is as high as we got last time, so I'm taking it out right here because I want to make sure I'm out of this trade before it goes down to zero. But since we've closed, right, so in the last, 20 or so minutes, this thing has already done 8%. 8%. 7% is more than the average American makes in the stock market in a single year. 7% of their total capital. Now, I'm not saying put your total capital on here. That's crazy. But we got 9.5, 9.6% in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. That's crazy. That's the market that we're trading right now. That's crazy. So now we have a line that we can use, right? We can use this line. Okay? And we'll call this area inside of here, an area of importance. Of course, you need to break that level. You need to break the horizontal, right? The horizontal is your go line confirmation, right? So that's your go. After your go, resistance at the 786 and the 886 and what I call the all-time high, and then your actual body close high, and then your actual top. right? So all of those are levels and areas of interest as this asset makes it into that ballpark. But for right now, if it's strong, right? So, we've seen in the past coins like this they'll make this big significant move, and the next candle everybody jumps in, and that's that, right? That's that like 10% you get in like 20 minutes. And then they realize like we don't have enough people. Like those traders moved, right? They moved on to another coin. And now they're stuck, right? Because they essentially bought the top. And then you'll see it trickle and it'll fail support and fail support and fail support. And it'll come all the way down to like your 20 or so, right? All the way back down in this ballpark. And then people will start getting interested in it again because they want to buy it at a cheaper price, right? It's just kind of how it works. So I don't want to say this will happen, but let's just go ahead and throw a line here and say, I'll be looking at that zone if that's where we come down to. Now we have also seen in the past multiple candles like this, and by this time tomorrow, if we take a look at Myth, it hit that 1618. Right, overall 1618, bang, you know what I mean? 99.60, and then who knows from there. Cool stuff. All right, Marcos, what's up? What's going on? You guys are like disturbingly quiet. That's fine. I just I don't want to bore you. Jeez. Now the bigger picture here too is this guy. This big freaking W, which I failed to mention earlier. Sorry about that. So let me make that red because this is kind of like not really a buy box. Okay, so this would be like a big giant W. All right, not a cup and handle, okay, but a pattern that just brings you back to go. That's all. All right, so if we do get a W, then you can start looking for other stuff. Let's say we only come here because that would make more sense. All right, and then you come all the way up to your W. Now, if you get stopped at the W, right, you don't have really much of anything. But if you do make a 127, okay, which is a 1618 on the overall all-time high to all-time low, then you got yourself a pattern. Now, it's not beautiful. It's not beautiful. Okay? That B is pretty high. All right? It's really high. So it's outside of the realm of a Gartley. Now, I think you're looking more like a shark. But inevitably, what would be the next move from here is something like this. Now, you can't short this coin, so there's that. But, now I wonder if we did our, where's our line? Oh, our line's like in the middle, right? So where's our line? Our line is the red one going across. So that's a lot better, but still it's not a 618. Which is too bad. And this should be a 786, not an 842. But again, close. You know what I mean? If we took our actual break, it's a lot better. It's not our legitimate low, but it is where price reversed. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for price reversal. So price reversed here and started going up. Price reversed here and started going down. Price reversed technically here and started going up. So this would be interesting if this played out. Now that, of course, that changes our 127 over here to a 1618. It should. Close enough. 1626. All right. Cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. Ingrain that into your brains, because if it plays out, I don't know. We could just say, hey, saw it here first. All right, let's see. TNT BTC, sure. Let's take a look there, Marcos. TNT BTC. All right, we got a nice rounded bottom. That's cool. Finding support from our 7 and our 20. We're still, I guess, technically in range. Let's go ahead and slide that over. It looks apparently like we need more room here. Let's see. We did find our little local at 222. All right, that was our double bottom. So double bottom with a big M in the middle, right? So M for go long. All right, so that's a decent pattern on the larger scale, but you know, we got stuff over here. Not 100% sure why, because I don't see any. Oh, this guy. Okay, yeah, there's a candle there. Whoa, look at that. All right, so what were we looking? Where is it? 786. All right, so and I had buy targets right at the 618 and 709 area for a pullback. So if you scaled in, it would have been bought. Right? Hold for the 788 would be your stop. And then, you know, so you wrote it. At that point, when you had like 2, 3, like 1, 2, and then this guy, your little like kind of reversal candle, or maybe the doji that's up over to 7, you could have maybe snuck another buy order in here. So this way you would have averaged down from 618, 709, and then, you know, like in between the 709 and the 786. And then you pulled down even further, right? But you got support again at the 786. And then now we're cruising. So this thing likes to do these giant wicked out candles. So we got another giant wick out. We got another giant wick out. We got another giant wick out. So like if I was trading this thing, I'd be ripping sell orders like up here. Because, like, you'll probably get it. You know, like, what? Like, why not? I would slowly ride this trend. You know, for now, it's still a giant swing fail. But, I mean, all things considered, you could probably ride it to the top of range and be fairly confident it'll get, not super confident, but it's behaved nicely in range. Even though it didn't hit it there, it did finally come back and hit it here. So you have opportunities here to basically stack sell orders, you know, at like, you can stack them at the 5, the 382. Could probably even stack it at the 236 if you wanted to, but up or down range, I mean, whatever. And while you slowly, you know, try to work this thing up. But I would imagine resistance is going to be heavy at times, right? You're going to be looking at stuff like this, right? That's going to be resistance. 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 Like, I mean, it's like too many to even really deal with. Like that. That. Yeah. I guess. Something like that. I mean, whatever. It's resistance everywhere. So, you know, you want volume, clearly. We've had nothing for a long time. So this, like, woke everything up. And now, like, even though the volume's bad, it's still way more than it was. I mean, it was like literally there's nobody trading right here. It's one guy who's buying and selling it to like himself with it's just weird. So yeah. That being said, I would work this slowly back up, but I would honestly trade this like with a completely different mindset. I would be expecting these moves at that point. Look at the historicals. On the 382, just above the 382. On the 5, just above the 5. On the 618, that's a little too far to call it just above, but yeah, wild. But those would be my levels. Now, I would ride the trend until the trend was invalidated. So if we did get like, a low, and this one I would probably play pretty tight because this could really go anywhere at any time. But I might work off the MAs. You lose the 20, close below it on whatever, let's say the 4 hour, then I'd probably get out of here. Just in case. You don't want to wick to the downside, right, and then have it stay there, because that would be bad. All right, cool. Very nice. Very nice. All right, let's pull up one more, and then we'll wrap it up. I get back to work. Get back to work a little bit. So let's find something that looks like, it's got a decent trend. Like this has got a pretty good trend. Up 22, right? Down 47 of that 22. Super low volume though. Really love that. Let's see. WPR, super low volume. These super low volume coins are like, they're getting it done. All right, ELF. Been a long time since we've been on ELF. So ELF, I don't like the BTC pair, but the ETH pair has got pink coming right down here on the 5 minute, right? So 5 minute reversal, strong on the 30 and the hourly. Haven't converted long-term trends, so the 4, 6, 12, and daily are still bearish, or sideways, slightly bearish. We did a 17% move today. We brought it back 50%. So we're like hovering around the 5 right now. So let's take a look at ELF ETH. All right. So what do we got? All right, we have seen similar coins make similar moves, right? So these big, jaggedy, rip your face, perfect peaks are actually pretty good. All things considered, reversals on these are fairly similar. You find a sharp area of down, followed by a sharp reversal, right? And then you feel pretty good about getting in that trade. But these are quick, right? These aren't 2-3 week trades right here. These are, you find it, you spot it, you wait for your indication. What do you got to close over or previous support, whatever, right? And then you pull like a 161 or something, and then you get the hell out. It's like these are too dangerous to really ride for far too long. If you felt really good about this, bring it up to the 423. 423 would be previous failed structure. I would prefer this. This would be my level up here, 102, 152. But then, of course, we need to see how this thing operates. Who's trading it? How are they trading it? Why are they trading it? Would be pretty key. No, that's right. That's the low. Push up, pull back, push up, pull back, pull back. Closed above the 20. Right, you're still below on the, you still want that cross. Still want the 7 across the 20. They did all of this reversal with low volume, but that being said, volume is trending up for what it's worth. All right, it's super low volume, but for this coin, it's pretty good. guess. You know, I mean, you, you got what you got, so you just kind of work with it. Now, if we have more to this, that's what I like to know, and we do, right? Because we have a double bottom. So there's the confidence in the reversal is far greater now, because now it's a respected level that was respected in the past. Now it's a double bottom, which is an actual pattern. So now you have an idea of where this thing may head if trend continuation can be formed, right? Well, if you can invalidate this current trend, right? So you got a high, a low, a lower high, well, a lower high, I guess, and then a lower low. So what you need is you need a low, a high, a higher low, right? And then a higher high. And then you've established, at least for now, a local trend. And with a local trend, then you can start doing things. But we could get this for now and just get a roundabout basic idea on what this thing did coming down for what we can decide going up, right? So all these levels here are for us on the upside, right? But when we push right now, we expect the 236, right? That's kind of like, that's what we're shooting for, right? We want to be able to get the 236 back. And the 236 is right here. It's the red one. And we got it back. So like, this coin's like done. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool in my book. Like, it got what it needed to get. We're straight. But, you know, it probably doesn't feel that way. It probably wants to keep going. And why not, right? So next target level would be the 382. Now look at where the 823, that's why I love this stuff. You see where the 823 lines up? You see this? Right, that 823 is on that pullback, right? First major pullback on a reversal, right? Or so we hope. That 823 is your target level after you've exhausted every target in between, 1 and the 4236. Check this out. 823, where is it? 618. Bang. So if I was a long-term trader, I would probably do that. And, even though this thing could take, weeks to get there, you get one candle like that, right, with enough orders, and, you grip it and rip it. You know what I mean? You're out of here. Put your sell orders up there. Let's say I was in this, right? As soon as I buy it, this order is already on the table. I don't want to be the last guy in the book. I want to be the first guy in the book. And I want my order sitting, date, time stamped, and ready to rock and roll, so that if we do just flash up, you know what I mean? It's my order getting hit. Or, of course, I'll be behind like the other, 70 million people that already saw this, but whatever. It's a 40% move. And, you're risking very little. You got a clear stop right here. It's as clear as it gets. It's like you adjust your capital to make your stop valid, but here's your bottom. This is your double top bottom support leg. So, if you break your leg, you're out of the trade. Just like, that's it. Now, you can allow it to touch again. And, you like to give it a little bit, a little cushion room here, never hurt nobody. So, without measuring anything, let's just do it by eye. That body height is not too big. The shadow came down pretty good, but, I'll allow breathing room and do that. Okay? And, I could just do this, and then I'll just do like something like that. And we'll just make it like boom. And, like boom. Perfect. Bang. Why did it not happen? What? What's going on here? Aha. Stop loss. Bang. All right. So this is a very simple trade setup. Now, I probably wouldn't take the buy right here because that's not what I'm going to do. I would have it come back down here, test previous structure, which is confluence with our 70 MA, which things tend to gravitate towards. So I would probably put my buy orders at 81,836, or 82 ballpark. But that in turn, let's say we took the 7. Take the 70 MA. Now 44%. All right? And this is like set it and forget it, man. You don't have to babysit this one. It's like, not that you expect it to fail, but you want to have confidence in your trade, right? So where it's rejected before and came back up, you got a decent rip out of it. You got a decent rip, but you also got stopped out right at your 20, stopped at the 20, stopped at the 20, right? Here you're over the 20, right? First time you've been over the 20 since this ridiculous move right here, which happened when? The next candle after being over the 20. All right, so it's an idea. Who brought that up? I did. I didn't mean to do that. I thought it was in chat, but that was TNT. Anyway, I'm not saying trade this. I'm just saying this is an opportunity. This is what goes through my head. All right, cool. So that's not bad. Let me just double check chat, and we'll wrap it up. Elf team moved 30 million tokens to Huobi. Check out whale alerts. Well, when was that? Today? Or was it this day right here? Was it May 23rd? You like the numbers. Well, man, what? Some things, but it doesn't. Twitter's platform is Twitter's platform. It's great sometimes, and other times it's not. Like, I'll miss, all those alerts. Because I guess I don't, interact with them, but I don't want to interact with them. I just want to see them. So there's my gripe. Yesterday. All right, so bullish news. Like it. So they moved it to Huobi. But why? Why would the elf team move 30 million tokens over to Huobi? Because that would be bearish. Because that would be time to sell. Right? I mean, that's what I would think. Teams taking their money, their funds, right? They're probably not hedging themselves against somebody else. So you would do that in order to rate it and turn it into something else, something more profitable. Or conspiracy theory time would tell us they move it onto the exchange so they could pump it alternatively on the outside and then sell it at a higher rate. Which then in turn would make it bullish. So you see, it's all in how you look at things. It's all in how you look at things. Anyway, that'll wrap it up for the night. I do appreciate you guys coming out. Always a pleasure. I had a good time. I don't know about you guys, but I did. So that's cool. I'm just messing with you. Yeah. So that's good. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll wrap up the candle close. There's a lot of things moving, but don't get complacent. You know what I'm saying? Just keep your eyes on the big guy and see what he's doing, because you don't want to start bleeding out because you forgot to take profits, all right? So just, analyze your trade, analyze your setups, set your stop losses, your profit targets, and Try to kick back and relax a little bit, but keep your eye on the bigger picture. You don't wanna creep into any tunnel vision. All right, cool. Wallbanger, you are very welcome. Felix, thanks for the stream as always. Yes, it's my pleasure. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. See you tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow it is a brand new day. All right, everybody, be good. I appreciate it. I want to see you on the exchanges. Happy trading.